Hi, this is Jill, and I'm going to teach a 30-minute complete yoga practice, and I'm going to include the pose Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to do this because I love this pose. It does so many things with the hips especially. It works the rotators externally, internally. You get some glute action, and it's great for balance. And if you want a more detailed video about this pose, I'm also making one of those where I break it down and use the wall and some blocks. So we make it accessible for everyone. So if you like these videos, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and it will make it easier for me to continue. You can also mention if you have some ideas about something you would like me to teach. You can just put that in the comments and I will address it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in Samasthiti. Hands together, everything standing still and straight. Sun salutation A. Big breath in, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. This might be your first one. If you're tight, you can bend your knees. Take everything back into a plank. You can do your push-up from here or lower the knees, and then we're going to lower into a push-up. I don't go very low because I'm healing a shoulder injury, and then we're going to come through to upward facing dog. And in this first upward facing dog, just hold to whatever feels good, a couple breaths, and exhale. We'll take it back to downward facing dog. And again, first down dog of the day, right? So you can bend the knees and really stretch it out. You can let the head hang and make sure your belly is in. And breathe and just pay attention to that breath. At least 5 long breaths here. And then bend the knees again. And let's walk up for the first one. Just pushing down, getting warmer. Walk up. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen and rise up. Reaching, rising. And exhale, hands down. I'm going to do another one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Feel how your belly lifts here. Look up. You can lift the heels, step back, or you could jump back. And then we're going to lower down. And I like to rise up because it's like putting another push-up into your day. Come forward into upward facing dog. And then exhale, take it back downward facing dog. And breathe here. Keeping the belly in, inhaling. And exhaling. Really reaching through your shoulders, getting really long here. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. At least 5 long breaths. And lift up and you can either jump up or walk up until you get all the way to the front. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen and rising up. Reaching. Exhale, hands down. One more Surya Namaskar A. Inhale and exhale, fold. Taking the hands down. Inhale, look up and lengthen. You can come to the toes. I'm going to play around with jumping back. Keep your shoulders right where they are. Nice light jump. You could stay in a push-up position or take the knees down. Lower. Rise. Come through. Upward facing dog. Lift the sternum. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Just pay attention to your breath. Inhale. And exhale. And again. About at least 5 long breaths here. And maybe in this one, you want to jump up or lightly walk up, whatever works in your body. Find a little target if you're going to jump. But that's put the feet down and fold. Inhale, lengthen and rise. And exhale, take the hands down. Now we're going to go into Surya Namaskar B, and we're going to use the blocks. So bend the knees, but you don't have to. I like to put the blocks right here as I taught in my sun salutation video and fold. It makes it easier to step up in Warrior One and to jump back. So feeling that. Pushing down with your hands. If you're up for it, a nice light hop. And then you can lower the knees if you're doing that. To lower, rise up, come forward, upward facing dog, lifting the sternum, and taking it back down dog. We're going to step into warrior one. So step your right foot forward lightly and reach the arms up. The blocks are helping me right now because I have a hip injury from too many kick-ups to handstands on that right side. So taking the hands down, but it's healing. We're going to lower and rise, but I also like them because they give me a lot of height. I'm finding new things with them that I didn't know I would feel. It's a nice experience. And then let's come to the left side. Step that left foot up there. It makes it so much lighter when you step the foot up. Reach the arms and exhale. Take the hands down, step back. Here we go, lowering again. Lower, rise, come through. Inhale, lift the sternum. And on the blocks, it's easy to kind of roll over the toes if you want to try that option. Feels kind of nice. Breathe, inhale, and exhale. At least 5 long breaths. Inhale, exhale, and again, breathe. One more. Find your target, find that spot. Lift up, put your feet down, and fold. Bend the knees, reach the arms up, and come to stand. Again, bend the knees, reach the arms, exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. You can come to your toes, keep the shoulders where they are, lift back, and then lower, rise, come through, upward facing dog, lifting the sternum, and exhale, downward facing dog. Coming into warrior one, lift that right knee up, reach the arms, big breath in, and exhale, taking the hands down, stepping back, again to lower down, rise up, come through, lift the sternum, and rolling back. Left side, inhale, lift the left leg up, reach the arms, big breath in, lift the sternum, and exhale, taking the hands down, stepping back, and lowering, and then rising, coming through, big breath in, and I'm gonna roll over the toes, but you don't have to. Downward facing dog. It just feels like I wanna do that today. Breathing, inhale, and exhale. Make sure the belly's lifted. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. And here we go. Find that target, push down with your hands, lift the hips up, put the feet down, and fold. Bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. On this last one, I'm not going to use the blocks, but you can. I feel warmed up enough in my hip now. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. And make your way back. And then we're going to lower down. The belly stays in. Rise up. Coming through. And take it back. It's harder to step up if you don't have the blocks. And reach up, lifting, and taking the hands down, stepping back, and lowering, and rising, coming through, inhale, and exhale. Left side, big lift, make it all the way up to the front, big reach, inhale, and now we exhale. Taking the hands down and lowering and rising and coming through, lift and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Breathing, reaching, noticing is your body a little bit warmer now? Inhaling and exhaling. Bend the knees. Find your little target there. Push down, lift up, and fold. Bend the knees. reach the arms, Utkatasana, and come to stand. Now we're going to step our feet out and come into a forward fold. So inhale here, pull the belly way in. And let's just do this one where we grab the calves and try and pull your body down. Let your head be heavy. If you need to bend your knees, you can, but try to straighten them because you could just grab a little higher, right? Engage the front of the legs, feel the back of the legs. Breathe and keep that belly lifted as you do that. And then inhale, lengthen through your spine. You can take your hands on your waist and rise up, coming to Samasthiti. And now we're going to come into some standing poses that I've linked together. So let's go ahead and step out. You may have noticed I've put some blocks on the outer edge of the mat. They're going to assist me. I'll show you when I get there. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out. And then we're going to bend into Warrior Two. So you're making a nice right angle in the front leg. You're feeling maybe external rotation in that front hip, that right hip. Gaze gently over the right fingertips. So we use that as your drishti, which just means your gaze point. The gaze comes from within and then gazes outward to the fingers. And from here, we're going to come into Utthita Parshvakonasana. So you can use your forearm at first, circle this left arm over and up. And then if you want to, you could take your hand down to the block. I'm using this because this is my injured hip and it keeps me a little higher here. Inhale, but you could go as low on the block as you'd like. The gaze is upward. Inhale, exhale, unless you needed to have it down for your neck, up to you. And then we're going to reach up to the ceiling and come into Trikonasana. I move the block back. So my hand is under my armpit and I turn the right ribs up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards my hand. Inhale, exhale, one more breath. And then inhaling, rising up, we're just going to turn the feet. So now turn the right foot in and the left foot out and come into Warrior Two. Gently and gently gazing from inward out down the fingertips. Breathing, inhale, make sure you feel the hip rotators on the outside of the left hip as you breathe. And then from here, Utthita Parshvakonasana. So circle that right arm, reach, Utthita, extended side body stretch. It's a side body posture. You could take your left hand down to the block. The drishti is either up to the ceiling or to your hand if that's accessible. Breathing. One more breath. And then reach up to the ceiling. Start to straighten the front leg. Move your block back so your hand is under the armpit. Straight legs and turn the left ribs up to the ceiling. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. Feeling how your legs, your rotators, and your hips bring you up and come all the way up. And now we're going to turn the left foot in and we'll have both feet facing forward and we're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana. Prasarita means spread out. So it's a spread out, intense stretch. So you want to really engage the front of the legs, start to come forward. We're going to take the hands down and bend the elbows and try to get your head to the floor. If your head doesn't come all the way down, rest it on a block and come all the way down as best you can. Draw the shoulders down, activate your legs, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. A couple more breaths. So you're feeling a nice stretch. And now inhale, look up and lengthen. Take the hands on the waist. Feel how you're using those rotators to come up. And then we're going to turn the feet out. So make sure you're nice and wide. We're going to come down now into goddess pose and breathe. So if you didn't know what a hip rotator was, you probably do now. You're feeling everything working, right? So try to make sure your butt's not sticking out and you're not leaning too far forward and you're opening the knees. We're purposefully staying here. It's a great pose for strengthening the rotators, the glutes. It's helping me heal my hip injury because it's so supportive. And one more breath. Inhale, rising up. Now we're going to take it back to the front to Samasthiti and we're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. So let's take a step up to the front. So we're going to take a nice step out and we're going to come into Trikonasana. So turning your left foot in and your right foot out, Make sure your block is there. We're going to use that to help us with the balance. So reaching, coming into Trikonasana, so the block will be under the armpit. Reach your arm up, keep pulling your right foot back and feel that turn. Now from here, look down so that you can see where you're going to put your hand. Bend the front knee, reach the arm so that the hand now is under the armpit and you lift up. And breathe here, right? You could point the toe or you could press through the big toe mound. Make sure your foot is at least hip high or maybe higher and breathe. And then from here, bend the front knee, step back, place your block and feel how good Trikonasana feels now. And then inhale, rise up. Let's do the other side. So turn your right foot in, your left foot out. By the way, Ardha, half Chandra, moon, half moon pose. Reach, take the hand down, right? Find Trikonasana, triangle pose, reaching up. Now all you have to do is bend the front knee, put the block down, make sure it's under the armpit as you start to come up. Press through the heel of the left foot and reach. Point or press through the big toe mound. Breathe, breathe. Bend the front knee, step back, place your block, straighten your front leg, and inhale and rise up. And then we're going to step everything together, Samasatihi, and be in a pause. Ardha Chandrasana. Now we're going to vinyasa and come down to the floor. So inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, go ahead and take your body back. We're just going to take it to a down dog here. And breathe. And now to come into seated, you could walk your feet up, you could jump up, you could just come down to the floor this way, you could take your hands to the side, but just find yourself in seated position, Dandasana. So sitting in Dandasana, nice and tall, we'll just take a nice forward bend. Let go of some of that energy. So the legs are engaged. Inhale, folding forward. Make sure your low spine is nice and long and breathe. Just take whatever hand variation you're feeling for now and try to really lengthen your spine and straighten your legs and relax the head. Breathe. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, look up and lengthen and rise. Let's take that right leg and pull it up for a moment. And then we're going to pull it across like a baby. You're cradling. We're opening the hip now. And then bend the left leg and take a moment to just kind of open this knee. If your pelvis is tilted back, you might want to sit up on a block or use your hands to get your spine, low spine nice and long and try to open that knee. You should feel that outer hip stretching. And now let's go ahead and come into Janushirsasana. So straighten the left leg, bring your right leg in, the knee is open. Inhale a gentle twist over that left leg and come into the pose. Your hands could be here, they could be here. You could be using a belt or an exercise band or a towel. Or I like to grab my right wrist with my left hand and pull and lengthen, breathing. And then inhale, lengthen through the heart and rise up. We'll come to Dandasana. Left side, same thing. Pull this back. I'm not going to stay long. Just bring it across. We've been using those hips a lot. Lift up, cradle. You could bend the right knee and sit up and try to open that knee. Remember, if you're down here, really use your hands or sit on a block and open that knee. Couple more breaths. And then let's go ahead and straighten the right leg. Take this foot on the inside of your thigh. Knee is out, Janushirsasana, head to knee pose. Inhale, come forward. And if you're grabbing a wrist, it's the right hand, left wrist. Pulling forward, or foot, right? Any variation that works in your body. Breathe. Nice lengthening. And then inhale, lengthen, and rise up. Dandasana. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead and we're going to bend the left leg in. Take your right ankle right in front of that left knee and try to sit up tall. Now, if this isn't happening and your butt's coming up in the air, you could sit on a block, but this is nice for the hips. Actually, it feels nice to do on a block, even if you don't need it. Start to pull this knee across, the right knee across, and sit up as tall as you can. Lifting up and turning. Pull the knee in. You might feel a nice stretch in that right hip as you lift up and turn. And then inhale, come back to the center. You can come to Dandasana, and we'll do the other side. So the right leg bends in like this. The left ankle comes across. This is called Ardha Chandrasana, half Lord of the Fish pose. So you come in this way, pull the knee in, try to drop this left hip down and come across. If it felt really accessible to you and nice, you could take the arm on the other side. Feel how the breath brings you around. Every exhalation takes you deeper. Breathing. And then inhale, come back to the center. Come back to Dandasana. We're gonna make our way now to all fours. So you would want to come off the block, right? You could cross your legs, you could come forward, or maybe you went to the side, and we'll come to all fours here. So if you needed, you could have a blanket under your knees. We're gonna step the right foot forward and come into Anjaneyasana. So feel the tail curl under on that left side and the right hip pull back. Let's go ahead and just take a nice variation where the elbows are kind of pulling down and back, and you just feel that opening. Try not to lunge forward just yet, just breathe here. Now we're gonna add the arms, lifting up. Now you can start to take it into more of a lunge. Lift the sternum, breathe, breathe, breathe. And then inhale, rise up. We'll do the other side. So come to kneeling and then step the left foot forward. Important here, feel the right butt go under and the left hip pull back. We're not lunging forward yet, so just feel that the elbow's pulling down and there's a widening in the back. The back is engaging, the front is opening. Find that first, then reach the arms. Then you can start to bend. And just take it somewhere beautiful. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Inhale, rise up, and come to kneeling. And we'll take our blocks and put them to the outsides of your ankle. And we're gonna come into Ustrasana, or camel pose. So we'll start by just pressing the shins down. You feel activation in the back of the legs. You could even use your hands to kind of draw that butt down so it's not sticking out. Feel how the shoulders roll back and down. And let's keep that as the sternum lifts, right? You feel this nice sternum lift, this back bend, but the back is working, the front is opening. And then go back as far as you can, and then see if you can take your hands to the blocks. If you had to go back to do that, that's okay, just push back again. And open here. Keep breathing, open, breathing. And then inhale, lift from the sternum, using the legs and rising up. And now we're gonna come back down to seated. So you can move your blocks. You could just take your hands and move your feet forward, right? And come to seated. And from here, let's roll back over the block. So you kind of have to find where the block is gonna be right under that sternum. But this is just a nice supportive back bend. The hard stuff is done. We're gonna do some nice restorative, just beautiful finishes, right? Closing. So do a nice curl back, curl the pelvis back. See if that block can be right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. So this is right supporting the sternum. And the other one can be behind your head. And then just grab the elbows. Try not to let the feet hang out. You can just keep your legs straight and breathe. Just let that chest open, the sternum open. You can change the crossing of your elbows if that felt good. You're not pushing, you're just allowing. And then from here, if you wanted to stay longer, you could. During this whole ending, the closing, you can stay as long as you want. It's easy to do a roll up here because you're already lifted. We'll put the blocks to the side just for a moment and do a nice roll back here. So you're curling the pelvis back, you're controlling your roll back, and we come all the way down. Now we're going to come into a supported bridge. So just lift your butt up and feel how all these muscles are working. Right? We did a lot there today. So take your block and you could put it on the lowest level or the second level. If that's feeling really good and you like it, you want more, you could lift your heels to get up, maybe put it on the high level. The shoulders are down, neck is long, and feel a sense of this neutral low spine. The tail is under, and there's just a nice stretch on the hip flexors, and it's supported, and you could close your eyes. And with this one, again, you could stay as long as you wanted. Because it feels good. You can feel the restorative poses, you can just kind of give in to them. I'm going to lift up now though and put the block. I like the lowest level because it's easier to balance. You put your whole low spine on and then let your legs come up for a nice inversion. Just can move around, find a nice neutral low back, breathe, straight legs. Just pay attention to your breaths. The inversions are great. We're reversing blood flow. It feels kind of nice. Make sure your legs are engaged though. Breathing. And again, you could stay there as long as you'd like. We're going to lift up though. Shift the hips to the left. Let your arms go out to the side. Let's come into a twist. Let both legs come over to the right. You can pull with your right hand, trying to get the left knee over the right knee as much as you can. Gently gaze over that left shoulder. Breathing. Again, stay here if it feels good. We're going to come up, lift the hips, shift to the right, knees up, take the legs over, left hand on the right knee and turn, look over that right shoulder, breathing. And again, stay as long as you want and come back. And then just pull the knees in for a moment. You can curl up and let it go. Come into Shavasana. And you could stay in Shavasana as long as you need, just releasing, letting the physical body completely relax, letting your mind relax, and just be in the joy of the moment.